Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Show and Tell. This time it's just the monthly edition. We had a lot of fun during our 12-hour live stream this year, but um, I am thankful to be just doing 1 hour right now. It was a really great time, though, and all those videos are going to be chopped up and on YouTube very soon. So you can also have some fun getting to see what each different speaker had to talk about and hear about their different projects if you weren't able to make the full live stream, or if you don't want to just sit there and watch 13 whole hours of me and Lee being silly. Um, but a very cool thing that can happen over the next month, because it is still October, which means it's still Open Hardware Month, is that you can still get a hold of one of our Move Slow and Fix Things sloth posters. All you have to do is become a member or give us a donation of $10 or more, and we will mail you a beautiful risograph printed poster designed by Lee. On top of that, we are getting very close to launching our call for proposals for the Open Hardware Summit 2026. If you have missed it somewhere, we are really excited to be having the Open Hardware Summit in Berlin at TU Berlin in 2026 on May 23rd and 24th. So maybe block off that in your calendars and keep your eyes peeled for the early bird tickets dropping soon. And again, the call for proposals will be up real soon, so you'll be able to get your ideas in, and we can shape a really fun year of the summit together. And then otherwise, more things for Open Hardware Month, because we love to talk about Open Hardware Month during October, is that you can get your pumpkin spice sticker if you certify one object during the month. But if you certify 2 objects during the month of October, you can get a very special pumpkin spice badge. So that's very fun and cool. We're really excited about that for this month. We're always trying to find more ways to make y'all feel like certification is a fun and cool thing. And it's always fun and cool to make sure that everyone can get access to your work and share it and iterate on it. But we know y'all like stickers. We love stickers and we like getting to make them for you. But today we are back with another 3 amazing creators who have made some really cool stuff. They certified in the month of September. So a few of them we got to feature in this month's certification roundup that is live on Make and Hackster right now. So we're going to get to talk to some of those folks and see a little bit about their journey and process to bringing their projects to life. So our first guest is Lot Amaros, who's joining us from Drone Korea. Hey Lot, how are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. I would like to present you the project, the Dronecoria, more or less the history behind it. So if you can share my screen, or fantastic. Thank you. Just to, yeah. So this was the first prototype of Dronecoria. I want to say that Dronecoria project has 7 or 8 years of history. So recently was the certification, but I made this drone long time ago. This was the very early prototype. The idea is a drone to drop seeds for ecosystem restoration. At that time, the world of do-it-yourself drone was starting. So I decided that the best thing to do with a drone is to drop seeds, not only to make pictures or videos, also to modify the space, to modify our world, not only capturing pictures. And why not to make open source everything, like the drone, the release mechanism. I was using also open hardware for the flight board. And it's like not only the drone, it's about open source restoration. At that moment, I was saying that we're trying to empower thousands of people to plant thousands of trees. So by making this machine and releasing it, we can maybe create some impact in our world. And then I was the winner of some contest, so I had enough funds to create the project, and I was like creating all kind of materials like instructions to show people how to build a drone. This is the drone, as you see. Yeah, maybe. I mean, when I created this drone, doesn't exist sewing drones, no? So it was like a concept to make the center of the drone empty to carry the weight, because if you put the weight in the border of the drone will not be in balance, no? I used, as you see, water bottle to carry the seat. So it was more or less to use the materials that I to make it cheaper and accessible. The drone is laser cutted by wood, and that moment while it's plywood, and that moment it was some drones made in wood, but not of this size. So it was a challenge to make a drone of this size, laser cutted, to carry. It can carry around 8 to 10 kilos of seeds, and they can spread these seeds around, depends of the species, but around 2 or 3 hectares or up to 5 hectares in each flight. These are the files to send to the laser cutter, the drone flying, and I want to maybe share that I was very focused on the drone don't have any screw. Everything is made in zip ties. Everything is assembled in zip ties. This is because we can save a lot of weight in screws, and also it's they was the screws are complicated in the sense that they can be expensive because should be lightweight, and the screws put a lot of problems. So it's everything in assembled in zip ties. So then when I created this drone, I entered the Instructables contest, and then was the focus the first time that the drone flight, and I share videos of all steps in the process, like how to mount the structure, the sewing system to spread the seeds, the electronic part, everything it's in YouTube, so you can, and also in the website of Drone Korea, so everyone can build it. Here is the frame. Yeah, yeah, I'm quite proud of design. I designed it with the help of a friend, Salva Serrano, an architect that it's an amazing designer. This is the drone, and this is not the last version of the sewing device, but the idea is that the bottle is on top, and here there is this disc that is spreading the seeds. And after making this contest of Instructables, the drone more or less became little bit famous around the world, and then was replicated in Argentina. This is a guy in Argentina that made the drone. Brazil. This is Ecuador. This is Mexico. Another guy in Brazil. And this is the last prototype that didn't fly it yet. It's smaller because the drone is quite big. So with the previous version, you need like a very big vehicle to transport the drone. So this is more compact, but we are having some problems to flying it. Didn't fly it yet. And I'm a computer engineer, so I was focused in the technology, but then after to make the drone, I realized that the drone is only one part, no, of the drone. So I was last years focused in how to make the seed balls like going more in the world of forestry to be able to prevent the predation of the seeds by rodents, to analyze the landscape, to select the best places of the seeds. Actually, Dronecoria, it was the first drone of the world that dropped seeds. Right now, there is a lot of startups, no, maybe not a lot, maybe around 10 startups around the world with these projects about dropping seeds, and they are facing, or we are facing the same problems that maybe the technology it's solved. It's the problem is done, but the problem is now about with ecology to prevent predation and to allow the seeds germinate on surface and also prevent the herbivory. So there is plenty of things to work. Maybe that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. And maybe last thing, dronecoria.org is the website. We have also YouTube and a Patreon if you want to collaborate in the design and improvement. Thank you so much.
This is such a great project. When this came up in the database, I was really excited to see people using drones in more effective ways than how we've been using them so far. I feel like a lot of people are really, you know, mostly just focusing on taking photo and video with drones and not really thinking about actual practical use cases such as this. And it's so cool to see it's been like adopted in a lot of other places already now. Have you, so right now the main focus is seeing if you can get like a mini version functioning too?
Actually, the main focus is to experiment with make scientific experiments with the seeds, no? This thing about to make it small is amazing, but we have already a drone that flies well. This the most important is to making working, no? The project entirely.
Absolutely. How has the experiments with seed pods been going?
Yeah, the problem, as I said, is predation, seed predation, but we are arriving to some formula of the coating to prevent predation, like by active carbon, to prevent the to be detected the seeds by the rodents. And also something important to say is that the difficult part is by with trees, but to make green cover it works very well. No, so to make bushes or grasses to stop erosion for this kind of species works well.
And so, what are the main kind of uh, plants that you're trying to get in? Like, is this primarily for crop planting or coverage plants or just restoration planting?
Yeah, it's focused in restoration, in ecosystem restoration. Um, we in degraded areas. I'm based in south of Spain, so we can't work with all species, but with Pinus is working well because other species needs to be really underground, and some seeds can grow if we drop them in on surface. And to make this kind of a business model, we are focusing in the things that work already, like to make green cover to stop erosion, to analyze the landscape, to understand what kind of problems have municipalities. Last year we had a very strong rain episode in Valencia with, yeah, it was catastrophic. So if we can protect the soil and improve the not the irrigation, like the water go inside the soil, we could improve the water retention, no? So more or less we are in both worlds, in trees and green cover for ecosystem for erosion control.
Makes sense. Yeah, I remember when Valencia got hit really hard by the storm, and it was really devastating effects. I feel like this is a great way to utilize this project and be able to try and get some of that restoration work done as quickly as possible. In areas where you have been able to launch it, have you had a good uptake in these plants growing?
Only in green cover, as I said. In some scientific experiments last year, after 1 week, the 95% of seeds was taken by rodents. So this was the main problem. But we are achieving now good results in experiments, and maybe in the next project we will see some results. But yeah, it's the same around the world. The world of drone seeding, it's quite fancy and is having some momentum, but still these problems about predation. But also something maybe important is that after a wildfire, just after a wildfire, in the 1 or 2 years after a wildfire, there is no rodents. So it's a good opportunity to make reforestation after wildfire. So this is also a window of opportunity.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. Being able to like, it's on one hand, it's really devastating to lose the wildlife and lose the all the plant life that's existing in that area. But that's a good time to get in there, get coverage seeded again, and get things growing. Has there been any thought about using mycelium as part of the seed process?
Yeah, we tested some years ago, but at the end, the IFA of the mycelium doesn't connected with the root. We had an expert looking with the microscope, and we tested, but we didn't achieve it success. But we need to improve. Anyway, we saw the seeds in places where there is mycorrhiza underground. Like, it's better to put the seeds close to bushes. Like that, we can assure that there is mycorrhiza underground and can make this connection.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's a really big connection between plants and mycelium. So I was curious if that had been tested, but of course it's been tested. Plant people know what they're talking about. Amazing. Well, this is a really rad project, Lot. I'm really excited to see how it comes together in the next steps, and I think it'll be really neat to see how y'all can perfect some aspects of the seeding. I think there's some plant
Mhm.
people watching. You should get involved.
Yeah, hopefully.
Amazing. Thanks for coming on today, and we will keep in touch and see what comes next.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Bye. Which is also a good point of reminding folks that in terms of OSHWA's beliefs, it is everything made of atoms rather than bits, which does mean any physical matter. So something like a seed bomb could in fact be considered open source and could be something you might want to consider certifying if it makes sense, if you've come up with a kind of unique process or something that could change the way that it works a little bit. I mean, there's lots of ways that people have seed bombed over the years or found ways to seed. So maybe that's something we don't have that in the database yet, but I think I'd be really interested to see it. We do have other living things like our mycelium watch that exists. So maybe that's something people want to experiment with and see what they could bring to the database. I'm just always offering out ideas. We love to have new things in the database. Next up, we're going to have our next guest is actually someone who just put a new country on our certification map. So we're really excited to welcome Ibrahim Mazar. Hello, Ibrahim. How are you doing? Oh, oh no, we don't hear you. I think you're muted.
Okay,
There we go.
you are hearing me now.
Yes,
Thank you for having me. I'm fine, thanks.
amazing. So yeah, tell us a little bit the Amimo. Amimo.
Okay, thank you. I prepared some slides to share.
So
Okay, so as you said, I'll talk about our certificate board, which is called Omnimo NR52840. So this board became the first OSHWA certificate project in Algeria, receiving certification number 1. At the beginning, I'd like to share you the map of OSHWA certificate projects. I think it's become even more beautiful thanks to this certification. So Algeria is located here, approximately at the center of the map and in the north of Africa. It's colored now, and that's only the first step. The next step, I think, is to change its color again. Now, what's Omnimo NR52840? It's a compact development board that features the NR52840 SoC from Nordic Semiconductors. We used in this board a pre-certified model that integrates this SoC. So this chip supports multiple protocols. It supports Bluetooth Low Energy, Bluetooth Mesh, Thread, Zigbee, and so on. The main feature of this board is that it supports a wide range of popular add-ons. Now, I'd like to talk about the story. A few years ago, when I imagined a compact form factor that could bring together a wide range of add-ons, I personally worked on many development boards, and the idea was also why don't designing a board that could used by other makers? That could be a great thing. With all of that in mind, I thought about integrating a type of add-ons. Okay, it's very bad. Okay, I thought about integrating all type of add-ons shown here. We have feather wings add-ons. We have also click boards. So the feature of or to be packed into this board cover microbus sockets and other first feather sockets, quick connector, battery connector, and a battery charging circuits, integrating a non. Maybe it's interesting to integrate a non-off switch. A non-off switch. So, including all these features in such a teeny board was no easy task. That's when I came up with the idea of sharing the pins of the feather sockets with those of the microbus sockets. This design choice became the defining this arrangement. It's possible to use either featherwing or click add-ons. Following the same reasoning, I also added a pinweld socket. After selecting small switches that could fit our boards, I experimented with many layouts to find the best arrangements. The captures here. I tried. After testing different options, I settled on this configuration. Okay. Now, the result configuration presents a new form factor that can work with several types of MCUs. For our first development boards, we choose the NR52840 from Nordic Semiconductor, a powerful multi-protocol SoC that is widely adopted by the community and well suited for a broad range of applications. Next, now, it was time to find a name for our board. After many attempts, we choose Omnimo, and that stands for Omni Models. We designed also a logo for the board. After completing all previous tasks, we carefully designed the board PCB with 4 layers and had it fabricated. We then assembled it manually, then became the first version of the board. The board result was satisfying, a compact and elegant board packaged with features, isn't it? Now, we encountered some issues in this version. The on-off switch and the user push buttons were selected for their small size, but we discovered then they were not reliable enough. Additionally, the side reset button did not perform as well as we expected. Next, a second version of the board was designed, but this time the on-off switch and push buttons were placed with slightly larger components that are much more practical and reliable. The length of the board was also slightly increased. Here is a comparison of the PCBs from the two versions. The final results of the second version was much more satisfying, and I really like it. Here we have a photo of this version. After designing the board, we go to Crowd Supply. So we launched our board on Crowd Supply. The campaign were between August 28th to October 9th, 2025. And then we have got, as you know, the certification in September 9th. Now, the main feature of the board, as I said, is it's compatible with several types of add-ons. It integrates further compatible pinouts. Also, it integrates a microbus sockets, a PMOD sockets, and quick, also known as Stima QT. We have here a video showing how we can connect several add-ons to the board. Here we connect how we connect feather wings. We can also connect click boards. There are a lot of types of click boards, so you can connect them to the boards easily and with an efficient way. We can also connect PMOD models, and we can daisy chain several models, quick models. The board integrates also many features. If I name some ones, we have a charging circuit with a battery connector, Li-Poly battery connector. We have a switchable output voltage. We have a flash memory, 2 megabytes. And we have two user push buttons, two LEDs, user LEDs. We have a debug ports, a USB connector. We have a LED to indicate that the board is on, and so on. Look, we integrate in the board an on-off switch. This switch is practical. So you can use this switch to power on and off the board without needing to unplug the USB cable or the battery. So here a video showing how we can easily turn on and off the switch. Despite its small size, the on-off switch is easy to use and can be operated without long nails or special tools. The reset button is also convenient to use. We show here how to use it to enter into the boot mode. I show here a comparison of some of form factors. We have Omnimo in the second place here in this table, near to Clicker board, ThinkPlus, Feather, and Arduino, and Xiao. So as you can see, the board integrates many of sockets and supports many features. Now the size of the board is 20 or 25.4 by 68 millimeters. The board supports Arduino IDE and CircuitPython, and also for advanced debugging, you can use NRF Connect SDK. Now the board is officially added to CircuitPython websites. You can now download the UF2 file. We produced many materials for the board. Here I show the pinout of the board near to OSHWA certification number. We haven't designed, we weren't designed the Omnimo NR52840 only. We designed also other boards. Here I show some ones. We have Omnimo based on NRF 901161. We have another one based on ESP32, another one on ATISM D51, and so on. Now, if you want to have more details about the projects, you can visit the crowdfunding page on CrowdSupply, and also you can join us on our website efac.com. Thanks for hearing and for your attention.
Amazing. This is such a great new dev board. I mean, we see a lot of dev boards come through the database because makers love dev boards, but this is such an all-encompassing one. You have so many great features and it connects well with so many other boards. It's such great design.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It looks like it took a lot of time.
You like it?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And also congratulations on getting funded on CrowdSupply so quickly.
Yes, we had founded the projects, and now we are focusing on the step of manufacturing the board.
Yeah. How many? Oh wait, what am I saying? What's your expected manufacturing turnaround at this point?
For now, we just manufacturing some the boards for makers, and we are planning to maybe make this board popular around the world and here in Algeria. So we will try to make it available on the markets everywhere, and hopefully we will get it will get attention and interest from the community.
I think that's going to be the case. And you're hoping to get more certifications on the map for Algeria?
Of course, we are planning to put other certification. We plan to propose other types of Omnimo boards, but this represents only the first step. So hopefully we will change the color of the again of our country Algeria in the map.
I believe in the mission. I think that's
Thank
going to
you.
be really cool.
Thank you.
We always love getting a new country. It's always really exciting for us. So it was really cool to see Algeria get on the map this month.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us such a good overview of the board and all the work that's gone into it. It's really wonderful to see, and you have some really beautiful graphics to go along with it.
Thanks to you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay, another great project. This is probably my favorite part of my job, is getting to see all the cool new projects as they're coming in and getting to talk to people who are making such wonderful things all over the world. And again, like getting a new country, it's starting to get a little bit rarer. There's still lots of countries that could go purple any day now. So I'm looking at y'all who are watching and who have been considering certifying and haven't gotten around to it yet. But every time it happens, we all get really excited and we talk about it. And it feels like such a good milestone to hit another country and be able to keep growing open source hardware all over the world. So, but we are still looking for that final continent. We still do not have Antarctica, and we would love to get Antarctica. So if you're a maker in Antarctica, let me know. I will do the form with you. It's really quick. It takes 10 minutes, and we can get you on there. The longest part is usually deciding the name. People really hate naming their projects, so we're happy to help with that process. Next up, we've got someone who's actually been at the summit before and spoken about his work with Pluby Corporation. We've got Phil Lamb. Hey,
Hello.
Phil.
I'm very excited to be here. How are you?
Pretty good. Always excited to hear about what Pluby's up to now. Not only is it so fun to say,
I
but
know.
y'all are always making such fun tech.
Oh, thank you. We chatted about being on this thing like 2 days ago. I said I didn't really have a chance to like prepare anything. So what I was thinking mostly is that I would channel slash butcher slash maybe misrepresent a little bit the work of Cory Doctorow and my little story, but because it's always a good backup to go there, and maybe to start with, if you could put up the thing I put on the shared screen just to explain why we're going to do that. So my name is Phil, and I run a company called Pluby Corporation. And we make all sorts of stuff, but the thing that we're talking about here today is actually our only product that's been certified. Probably just because we're like, I don't know, too busy to get around to it. Am I allowed to say that?
You're allowed to say that, and it's not the first time we've heard that, but
It's a little
10 minutes,
embarrassing.
the form is pretty easy.
It's true, and like we're very proud. I think every one of our products is licensed. The designs are licensed under copyleft licenses. So like the hardware is covered under the CERN OHL-S, because it's important to me that if people use our designs, that they then be, I guess, obligated is the word, obligated to share what they've put on top, so that more people can add to the chain. And also the software, which is mostly GPL. Also a nice warm place in my heart. So what this is, this nano thing is, it's a trackball mouse. You use it to move the cursor around on the screen. And it is, like, as the product page points out, literally just a mouse. There's actually no buttons on it. And one of the things I love most about this product is that I could never have come up on this on my own. This is actually, like, we literally made something that the community told us that we should make. And when people ask me how it works, my honest answer is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand how people use a mouse without buttons. It makes no sense. And yet, there it is. It is something that the community apparently really likes. And I mean, how could you not? Look at how cute it is. So the story of the product is actually very simple. And, you know, aside from the fact that people like it, and perhaps interestingly that you can buy it in pieces if you like, just, you know, sort of IKEA style. But yeah, that's the whole spiel. And what I was gonna talk about instead of showing you, would you mind taking that down for me? I actually can't. There we go. And what I was gonna talk about is like the story about how this all happened. And like any good story, it needs a villain. And because we're where we are, the villain is actually very convenient. The villain is Microsoft. And so the reason that we got started is because in the 80s and 90s, Microsoft had what we would now call a human factors division that was just chock full of geniuses. And they designed all these cool things. You know, they're the reason that we have keyboards that aren't square. They're also the reason, basically, that people know what trackballs are in the first place. And they're also responsible for, like, the optical mouse, which is cool. A very, very neat little bit of tech history. But like a lot of large companies, that, you know, they tend to lose focus on stuff sometimes, and somewhere in the sort of mid-aughts, somebody somewhere at Microsoft decided that that's not, you know, they didn't want to be in the hardware business. And so there's this, like, the reason that the Nano exists is actually because of another product that we make, and that product is, how shall we say, inspired by a Microsoft product that they came up with in the late 90s, and that there's essentially an entire generation of very, very avid computer users out there who, you know, sort of miss it, right? Like they had one, like I had one. I walked into an Office Depot when I was 16, and I ended up with one of these by accident because I'm an idiot teenager and I didn't really know what I wanted. So I accidentally stumbled onto one of these things, and 20 years later, I'm just like, crap, I broke the last one. And now I'm on eBay, and it turns out that it costs like $500 to replace it because there's none left, and people are very excited. Anyway, so the whole point of this is that, you know, to get back to the Corey doctoral part of the story, there are, like a lot of things in life, that, you know, this kind of techs have a life cycle, and at some point in time they get abandoned just for various reasons, not necessarily nefarious. And so when we decided to start this company and build this first product that was an homage to something that we missed, it was very much built with this sort of philosophy of, like, okay, well, you know, fool me once, fine, but fool me twice. And so we kind of said, like, okay, cool, we're gonna make this, we're gonna let people enjoy it, have people enjoy it, hope people enjoy it, and if we were ever to disappear, we'd like to leave enough breadcrumbs out there to make sure that, you know, our users don't have a reason to start a company in our wake to sort of, you know, replicate what we did. That was amazing. Not to, you know, toot my own horn too hard. So the point is that if you build these things in a way that they can be replicated, this actually got lots of benefits. One, if you grow attached to something in your life, then you don't have to worry about it ever sort of disappearing on you. But also, every once in a while, you know, we've probably all been there. We, like, dropped something and it broke. The beauty of making it open source is that you could just print more stuff, replace the parts that are just broken, not instead of, you know, going out to get an entirely new thing. It's really neat because, like, if you email our support line, you might get an email back from me, and every once in a while, like a good chunk of the time, when people email in about busted stuff, the answer turns out to be like, hey, do you have access to a 3D printer? Because if you do, here's a link. Here's the link to the files. You could just make them yourself. You don't even have to wait for, they could be done the same afternoon. Yeah, that's, I think, pretty much where I'd like to stop. Unless you have questions.
I do.
Oh,
Because actually,
okay.
I think you snuck under the radar on this one, but we actually featured this one in June's roundup for certification because it was such a fun one to me. And one of the things I really love about it actually is the design of it is very simplistic and lovely. So you're saying
Thank
you
you.
made this with a few other folks. Is this were you the hardware or the software, or was it like just
So the software is an interesting story actually because there's this thing out there called QMK, Quantum Mechanical Keyboard. In case for the folks who don't know on your live stream, it is a firmware for keyboards, but it turns out that you can load it onto mice just fine. Yeah, I know it. You know, like a lot of things in the open source world, we can't even claim credit. Like some person came along. This is the thing that blows my mind about this community, by the way. People will regularly write software for hardware they have no access to.
why not?
I mean, for one, how do you check if it works, right? But also for another, like it's a very strange and very lovely thing to go out and do. And so we were sort of the victims of this in the sense that there were a couple of people that we talk to every now and again these days because we found out about them because they wrote software for our products, kind of more or less by accident. Like we had sort of done it independently. So the software actually that we run on most of our products is called QMK, and it's got all these things that like it can do that are really cool. But I forget what I was going to say for the second half of this. What was the original question?
Just like how this design came together, hardware, software.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's the software side of things. It's basically the answer to your question is it's an accident. Somebody else wrote it, and it works well. And for the hardware side of things, it wasn't a collaboration so much as it was. I think after you do this for a while, you sort of get this sense, like if you hang out in these communities, that there's like sort of these hints that come up, like you'll see sort of the same ideas get repeated again and again and again, and sometimes it sort of points you towards something that the community wants. And at the time we released this product, because it turns out we certified it like way after we released it. At the time we released it, people were making a lot of these kind of like homebrew things where they were like taking cardboard boxes or little plastic gadgets and sticking like a trackball on top and a sensor on the bottom and sort of like putting it next to their keyboard or like gluing it onto a keyboard or something. And so that's where this came from. And that's why I was saying earlier, I don't understand this product because I would never have come up with it independently. It just sort of bubbled up out of the stew that is this open source community.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's such an interesting one too, because yeah, like I personally would never. I love buttons a lot,
Right?
but something
Right?
about this one has such a beautiful design, and it just like I literally the words I put in the roundup. Let me go check because I was goofy about it. Um, we can just tell from the image alone that it would have such an excellent hand feel. That is the exact word. And it's true. It looks like it would fit in your hand so
Yeah,
comfortably.
it just sort of you could just sort of rest it. It feels like all those memes of like the guy
Oh,
there's
the
like a
orb,
meme,
yeah.
the orb,
Is it
right? The like the
fan
wizard with the
connected orb?
palantir. Yeah.
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 Actually, has someone made that as a version yet?
I see that every week. That meme just shows up everywhere I go on the internet because people find out who
Yes,
I
but
am
has
and they're
someone
just like
made the Ploopy trackball a wizard orb yet?
like that could be really fun. Like maybe like next April Fools we'll make a trackball that's just a bowling ball. It's
I
like
think
clonk.
the people would like that. The people would be so down.
Oh my god.
And I have seen some really fun ways that people have played with this and made different versions already. I am on the internet a lot, so I get to see when people are playing with designs that I've kind of basically any design that I end up pulling for certification roundups, I end up kind of tracking them as time
Right.
goes on. And people have done some really fun mods on this one.
Yeah, I think the prior to us releasing this, I think it was sort of like what we were doing was sort of a curiosity, but post Nano, I think basically if somebody in the open source community is making a trackball, you will see the DNA of this product in it. And like oftentimes I'll see people who have like literally grafted the step file onto their model. Like you can still see like the leftover curves. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it right there. It was like, and like, it's very much kind of like there's a style of CAD modeling that's essentially like clay sculpting, where you're just like you stick the model in and then you just go in there and you're like kind of just clawing away what you don't need and you put like new stuff on it. Is it sort of like and like we see that everywhere, and it's so gratifying. Like it's such a wonderful feeling to be like, hey, I recognize that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the beautiful things about this community is getting to be like, I know that.
Yeah.
I made that, or I know who made that, and I get to see the through line of the
Yeah.
this project becoming something completely new while still having the roots.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
that's
neat.
exactly it. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking a little bit about the trackball and just like, you know, messing with Cory Doctorow's words. Someone's got to do it, you know? We can't all just worship Cory Doctorow all the time, even if he's good at what he does.
I know, right? Like it's I know. And he's like, I think jealousy is not quite the right word. I'm just like, I'm in awe. I'm just like, like when somebody does something amazing, you're like, why didn't I think of that?
We
You
can't all
know?
think of the word enchitification so quickly, you know?
It's just such a beautiful thing. And it's
It
just applicable everywhere in the 2020s, right? It's
sure is. So cool.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. This was really exciting. It's lots of fun. It's nice to see
And
you.
yeah, it was great to see you. And I don't know, maybe come to Berlin this year.
You know what? My partner just mentioned it to me today.
Heck yeah. I love to hear it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Talk to you soon, Phil.
Okay.
Bye. Okay. And that's that. That's another amazing open source certification roundup of really cool new certs that came out in the month of September. And again, for the month of October, Open Hardware Month, you are super excited. It could be nice to know that we feature double the amount of certifications because we always expect to get a lot of certifications at Open Hardware Month. So we're going to be having a really fun show next month when we get to really look at all the really cool certifications that have come in during the month of October and get to really celebrate how folks have been creating and making in so many ways for Open Hardware Month. And don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for the 2026 call for proposals. Don't forget to maybe pick up some really cool OSHWA merch. We do have our merch sale on for the next month until the end of the month. You can get a beautiful open source hardware association t-shirt or sweater. There's lots of great options. The link will be in the description, so as well as links to all of these really amazing projects if you want to get in touch with any of the creators and maybe get involved in some way. So, just keep certifying, keep celebrating Open Hardware Month, and we will see you again next month for another incredible Show and Tell Monthly. Bye, y'all.